What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast. Yes, we did take last week off because I was on a lovely vacation where it was 85 and sunny, and now it's -2 and it's snowed almost every day. We're back. Okay, we are back in the good state of Ohio. But yeah, man, we are back. We are live. Shout out to Drew, who actually was a little active on TikTok. If you guys follow us over there, if you don't, it's the same name, just BS and Pod. Go check that out. Go give those those videos a like, because he even put up a edited one with us talking about the Cavs, which we are going to do here in a little bit as well. But it was just really cool to be active on a different platform. So shout out to you, bud. And yeah, man, we are back. We are back to normal. There's not going to be any more breaks anytime soon, at least foreseen.
Yeah.
Life can happen at times, but as of right now, everything's good. And I'm sorry that I sound a little stuffy. I got sick while I was on the cruise, and still kind of recovering from that, which was really just a cold that just has lingered for almost a week now. So getting through that. I might have to mute my mic to cough, but other than that, I'm doing all right. I'm a little stuffy, but yeah, man, we're back, man. How are you feeling after having a nice week off and just kind of chilling for a little bit?
Honestly, it felt nice, especially with how the weather's been going crazy this past weekend of it getting almost a foot of snow. And oh my god, dude, it was just nice week. You picked the perfect time to just go, because it's like, the weather was abysmal. It's still freezing cold. For those of you who don't know, it's like barely even touching like single digits. It's insane. Like, it's been cold nonstop. It's been snowing. Probably one of the more brutal winters we've had in a long while.
Yeah, it's been brutal. And I'll tell you what, traveling back the way that we did and on the day that we did, I'm so glad. Because so our cruise was supposed to come back on Sunday, and we came back on Saturday because they were tracking it and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and skip the last port and head straight home, because the storm is going to get pretty bad, especially in Texas, where we are porting out of. And with that, they just wanted to make sure everybody got home safely. And so that's ultimately what happened. And of course, the dog came in as soon as I talked. Let me close the door. Sorry about that. Get up on the bed, stinker butt. And so yeah, we got back home a day early, which was nice. And we were able to fly back home. We were able to change our flight while we were on the cruise, thankfully, and everything just kind of worked out. And I'm really glad that everything did work out, because I mean, we got back home at 10 o'clock. We landed in Cleveland at 10, got home around 11, and then I got back here around midnight. When I pulled in, it started snowing. When I woke up, it was completely white out and about 6 to 8 inches of snow that fell within that time frame. So, point is thank God we didn't come back on Sunday, because we probably would have been stuck in Houston for a few days, to be honest, with how everything happened and the amount of flights that got canceled. Like, it's been unbelievable. I was seeing people in the Facebook group that we had that there were people that were stuck in freaking Houston for until like Wednesday or Thursday. It was so bad. So yeah, man, I'm just glad everything worked out the way it did. It was a little wild, but it was a fun time. I'm really glad that we were able to do it, and I'm really glad that I'm back and we get to talk our sports, because I did miss it. But it was nice being off the grid. I'm not gonna lie, not having any access to this at all. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Like, not having to worry about what's going on in the world was great. I still had ESPN to like look on, so I got to at least keep up to date a little bit if the Browns would have hired a head coach, but they didn't until yesterday. So thankfully we didn't post it or record this on Tuesday, because then we wouldn't have been able to go over this. But now that we are recording today, it's Thursday, so it'll be out tomorrow. It's kind of fresh news. It's nice to be able to talk this. So, Andrew, the Browns officially hire Todd Monken over Jim Schwartz and Nate Schillhouse. Guys like Udinski didn't make it, or not really didn't make it, just kind of pulled out. Mike McDaniel decided to take the job with the Chargers as their OC, and a few more guys to just kind of pulled out because there was a lot of shenanigans going on, and the Browns were making these guys do tests and all this other just crazy stuff. And just wondering your thoughts about how you're feeling in terms of getting Monken over, say, hiring Jim Schwartz, or getting the young gun and Nate Scheelhaus, because that was a guy that I was a little high on and a little excited about. But I was also more expecting Jim Schwartz over Todd Monken. I'm not gonna lie, with how much talk there was about they wanted to keep Jim Schwartz, and that was a big reason why they wanted to hire certain guys, or that was a big argument that they wanted to bring to the table, and you didn't hire him. And even though he's under contract, there's no guarantee he's going to come back now.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no guarantee. And like you said, I think Todd Monken was like the last on like everyone's list, or it was just like the last person you would think about getting hired for the Browns job. Because for me, on Monday and whatnot, I was talking with my dad and a couple other people. I said, my two is either probably gonna be Sheila, gonna be Jim Schwartz, and I got a little bamboozled. It was Todd Monken, and like you said, it was more. I think guys like Udinski pulled out, others pulled out because they wanted their own defensive coordinator. They wanted to make their own coaching staff. They wanted their own OC and their own defensive coordinator, which I understand. Like, if you want to be a head coach, you want your own staff that you trust.
I'm pretty sure Mentor also pulled out too because he was going to get the Ravens job. So he was like, "All right, we're done.
Yeah,
we're done with that." But
he pulled out because I think he was told he was going to get the Ravens job, so he pulled out to go to the Ravens.
John Harbaugh didn't even give us time of day, bro.
No, he just went straight for New York. And that, to be fair, you know what? I thought he was going to go to New York regardless. I think everyone kind of had the idea he was going to New York regardless. So that wasn't out of the cards. But yeah, I thought it was going to be either Scheelhaus or if it was going to be Jim Schwartz. They went with Todd Monken because they believed that with Todd Monken, Jim Schwartz would retain his job as defensive coordinator. And I don't think it was a matter of Monken being hired as the head coach. I think it was the way the Browns went about it, because I feel like in Jim Schwartz's mind, it's like, number one, they hired a guy who has no head coaching track record.
Yeah,
but obviously Jim Schwartz does, so he probably felt they were a more underqualified person. And it almost seemed like Jim Schwartz found out at the same time we did. It's like they didn't even bother to tell Jim Schwartz what was going on, what was happening. Like, hey, we're considering Todd Monken, and if we do, would you consider staying? Right. Kind of like, well, if he's not going to stay, then we'll just go with Scheelhaus with the younger guy and just take a gamble on the younger person. None of this happened. They just went out on the whim and just said, we're hiring this guy. It could have been a dispute between the Haslams themselves, because maybe Barry wanted Scheelhaus and the Haslams wanted Monken. There could have been a debate there. I've heard that somewhere too. So it was just a whole mess to where I think they just made a quick hire, and I think it was the Haslams who pulled the plug and just said, screw it, we're going to we're going with Todd Monken. This is what we want. Yeah. And it threw everyone for a loop. It threw Schwartz for a loop because he went around pissed off, saying his goodbyes to everyone in the locker room and saying his goodbyes to everyone in the facility, basically telling the Haslams to go F themselves. I don't see him coming back as defensive coordinator because I think the Haslams burnt a bridge there and it's not repairable. So I doubt Jim Schwartz is going to be hired as DC. Do I think, this is the worst thing in the world? Not really. It's not the worst thing in the world, but the way the Haslams and Barry have handled everything, it's just you see why no one wants to come coach here and stuff like that, because the front office is just so discombobulated. They don't know what the hell they want. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And everything seems to be just on a last minute whim. There's no communication, nothing. It's just, oh, by the way, you're hired, and everyone just found out at the exact same time. It's like, whoa, what the hell? So it's just it's a little shocking. Um, do I think Jim Schwartz is going to go somewhere else? Yeah, because I think there's the Cardinals job and the Raiders job still open. I think he'd rather take his chances there or go deep, be DC somewhere else, say like the Chargers or something, because Minter is gone. So he might go take the Chargers job. He might go somewhere else to be defensive coordinator. I know the 49ers are looking hard at him to bring him in as the, but the one thing we still can't forget is he's still under contract, so he can't really go unless he is, I think it's traded for, and or he
the
just
Browns just let him go.
or they or the Browns just directly release him or something. I don't know if he can resign and that would do anything. I'm sure it would or can, but as of as it stands, he's still under contract. He still can't really go anywhere per the NFL rules, unless, like we said, he's traded for or the Haslam's release him. So as of right now, he's still the DC. We don't know how much longer that's going to last. But I think the bridges are burnt, and I had a feeling the players wanted Jim Schwartz more than Todd Monken because they built a rapport, especially the defense. They built such a great rapport with him, and I think that they thought Jim Schwartz was the better hire for sure.
But the thing that makes this whole thing laughable to me, again, is the fact that he was a part of all their pitches. He said, "Hey, we really want to retain him, and if we were to hire you with any of these candidates, they would say." We want to make sure that we can keep Jim Schwartz as the coordinator. We would like you to sign off that, and if not, then that's fine. We understand. So if they went in with that pitch, if they really did, because we're going to find out at some point, but that's just the overall guesstimate of just what people have heard. If that's what they were doing, and then they missed out on other candidates potentially because of that, just to lose him in the end, you know how foolish you look? You know how stupid you look?
You look dumb as hell right now.
And again, this is just a further indication of why Browns fans don't trust Andrew Berry and they don't trust Jimmy Haslam, because everything that they've done, especially Haslam, when it comes to head-to-head coaching hires, like Stefanski was the ballpark best one, but he wasn't even like their top choice at the time. It just so happened to work out for that long. But he's ruined so many opportunities. He's ruined so many potential candidates because of his arrogance and his want to get certain guys. I mean, he went to bat for freaking Adam Gase for like 2 or 3 different head coaching searches, and they never hired him because they were like, "No, we're not hiring Adam Gase. He's an idiot."
Yeah,
And
I gotta remember all that.
he just continues to prove his incompetence. And it's like I was saying earlier, like I just wish he just didn't exist here. I wish he wasn't a part of this franchise the way he is as the owner, because we could have a golden retriever as our owner, and it would probably still go better. Like candidates would be like, "Oh, your owner is a dog? Sick. He's super loyal. Awesome. I'm hired. I'm good." Like that's how pathetic Jimmy Haslam is when it comes to this. And then with Barry, this whole them having to take personality tests and all this other crap, like I bet that rubbed so many guys wrong because they're like, why the frick am I taking a test for an interview like this? Like I'm not applying at Applebee's. I'm applying to be a head coach. If you don't know my leadership skills, or you don't want to just, have a further conversation with me one-on-one, then that's on you. And I think that's just a waste of time. And I think this is Barry's last year. I think he's playing himself into the dirt. And if he comes back and has a mildly good draft, it's still not going to save him, in my opinion, because he's just so dumb, and he's got to be the smartest man in the room. And every single time he has that attitude, it backfires every single time. Um, but that being said, I'm not 100% against the hire of Monken. I don't think he is a bad coach. He did lead the Ravens to having a pretty good offense for the most part. I mean, a lot of their struggles happened on defense and, special teams, and guys getting hurt. Lamar not being able to really stay healthy, because when they were on, they were on. Like, they could put up 40 points at any given time under that offense. It was just the overall inconsistencies, of certain players and guys falling short. I mean, again, this is not news that nobody knows. I mean, he was a part of 2 national championship runs, with Georgia. He helped Lamar gain at least one more MVP. So it's not like he's incompetent. It's not like he's a terrible coach, but 2019 still kind of rubs you a little raw because of the way he talked about that that season and that staff. You just hope that he doesn't have that same attitude, and I bet he ends up answering to that when they throw his press conference up. My thing, and where my curiosity is the most, is how Barry and Haslam are going to respond to certain questions, once they officially do, the whole press conference. If Barry is kind of jumping over his words a little bit and kind of stuttering a little bit, then this wasn't his hire. But if he sounds confident, but he sounds like he's super into this, and he thinks he made the right move, then it's more on him than it is on Haslam. And I just have a feeling this was a Haslam buy, or this was like a Haslam wanted Schwartz and Barry wanted Shieldhouse, and they were like, screw it, we're going Monken. And like, if that's really how we're gonna do things here, like this franchise is doomed forever. Like, they're just nothing is gonna get better. You're gonna have a new stadium and nothing to show for it, and guys 5 years out of their prime, and you're still paying them hundreds of millions of dollars because you don't learn your lesson. That's where we're heading. If they can't get this draft right, nothing matters. And for all too, if they don't play well this year, Monken could be one and done. Like, Monken could very well be the next Freddie, or be the next Pat Shermer, or the next Chudzinski. Like, they could very well one and dump him 100%. And that's what I'm scared of. So I guess at least if you're going to do it, you're going to do it with somebody who's 60 instead of somebody who's 30 or 35. So I guess we'll see. But I don't love it, but I don't hate the hire. I kind of understand it, and I do know his schemes are going to be good. I'm curious to see how he sort of rounds out his staff, who he keeps and who he decides to let go. We obviously saw Bubba's gone, which is great news. He did bring in the Ravens O-line coach, which I actually think was a really good pickup. He was here back in 09 through 13, so he was here when Joe was here. So he's competent. He knows what he's doing. Solid hire. I will take that, just as long as you please replace the receivers coaches. Like, I hope Stefanski takes everybody. Let's just start from scratch at this point. Just make your own staff.
I think that's what's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think either the staff is going to go with Kevin like they have been, or they're going to go somewhere else. And I think the Browns are going to start completely fresh, because I mean, what else is there? I mean, a lot of people only stay there because of Kevin. Kevin was the reason why you had that entire coaching staff. So if Kevin is gone, obviously we saw Tommy Reese leave. We saw a few other people leave. I think we even saw maybe 2 or 3 people in the front office go to Atlanta. So people are leaving because of Stefanski. And I don't mind guys like Bubba Ventrone pissing off and going somewhere else. I don't mind, if we have to get a new OC, a new receivers coach, a new special teams coach. Fine by me. Maybe Jerry Judy could catch a football this time. So you just gotta hope and pray that the Browns can get it right with trust Todd Monken to bring in his guys that he wants. Like you said, he brought in the O-lines coach, which was here from '09 to 2013, 2014. So, and the Browns had a decent O-line in that time period as well. So you just hope that he could bring that same caliber. I mean, the Ravens offensive line wasn't bad at all over the last couple of seasons with him there. So, you know, it's not no Bill Callahan, but it's a guy who's good enough at his job who can get the O line right and ready to go, especially a O line like ours. And he should have a fresh couple of rookies too. So we should have a few rookies to come in and be in the offensive line. And
Yeah.
this is a time to rebuild the coaching staff. Like you said, it's time to get some of these coaches that we've been wanting gone. Ventrone out of here, new special teams coach. You have new wide receivers coach. That'd be great. New OC, potentially new DC, depending on the Dream Short situation. As of right now, he hasn't really gone anywhere. Like I said, he can't go anywhere unless he gets a promotion, he gets traded, or the Browns just say, all right, well, F you, you're gone. So as of right now, he's sticking around because of his contract. So we're gonna see what happens, and hopefully the Browns can resolve the whole issue of Jorts at least. And then, we just got to move on. And for the people who are overly thinking, I will say this: give them a chance because we don't know what's gonna happen. I think it's the same. Someone said it too. It's the same situation as it was at Bruce Arians when he first went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And when he went to Arizona, and he turned Arizona around, and then he went to Tampa Bay, and at that time he basically won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay and with Brady and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
everyone didn't give Bruce Arians a chance, and he turned out to be just fine. So this could be the same situation. We just never know. So just give the guy an opportunity. Just be glad the Browns actually made some kind of change. And all you can hope for is the change pans out. And, this is the guy that Shador Sanders or Deshaun or whoever's our quarterback needs. And we move forward.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair too, like, even if it doesn't work, it's not like this team is probably going to look different within the next 2 years anyway.
Yeah.
So if he gets past that point, it's because we're actually doing some good things. But again, a lot of the moves that Barry is going to have to make this year is going to really dictate how I feel about what he has to work with, and how the roster sort of shapes out. Because again, we have good rookies that came in from this year. They're going to go into year two. And plus some guys that have been on the team for a while that we still like. But you also have a lot to get rid of. You have a lot of people and their contracts to dump or somehow get rid of. So there's going to be some changes, man. And that's what we've been kind of saying for the last few months now. So let's square out this, the rest of this staff, because you have about, what is it, like 60 days, I think, until the agency begins. And then you got the draft shortly after that. So you better get that stuff going, because you only have a certain amount of time until you get your guys that you want. And if you're trying to recruit certain guys, well, you better get everything shaped up within the next week or two. So get to work. That's all. That's really all I got to say. But I'm just glad that it's over and we can just kind of worry about what's to come. But I can tell you right now, there's a lot of fans that really aren't like super high and not really super low. They're just kind of meh. And that's honestly the feeling that I've had, at least for the last year or so, is I just kind of feel meh, because I know where we're heading and I know where this is going. I just don't know how long it's going to be before it gets better. But as I've said once, and I'll say it 10 more times, as long as Jimmy Haslam is the owner, of this franchise, we are not going to be
Mhm.
a desired or great football team. And that is the cold, hard, burning truth that a lot more Browns fans need to get through their heads.
Yeah, maybe we should have paused on the whole building a brand new stadium until Jimmy Haslam got the hell out of here.
I know he should just, at this point,
Cancel
he should,
cancel everything and just
yeah, just
skip
change it,
out.
just cancel the credit card payment and say, you know what, I think we're just going to sell this off to somebody else, and then let them
Build a
be the ones
stadium.
that, or at least let them be the ones that work with the city to do that, because this is getting ridiculous. It's
I think
almost laughable
I
how
think
bad it is.
I think everyone in Cleveland, including the city of Cleveland, the politicians here hate Jimmy Haslam. Like, no, Jimmy Haslam is just the most hated man in Cleveland at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to not say that too at this point.
That the fans, just regular people, the politicians in Cleveland, like everyone
Yeah,
just hates Jimmy Haslam because he's just a. I don't even care at this point. He's just a dickhead. That's just he's just an a-hole, and you know I I would just, like you said, I would call fraud on that credit card and just get the money back and move on somewhere else. You're old, you got money, go on your travel around the world, vacations before you guys go, and live out the rest of your lives, because you guys do not need to be owning a goddamn football team.
yeah, yeah. But you know what? Let's go ahead and shift the vibes and the overall topic to something a little more brighter. You know, so something that's actually going well in Cleveland. Miss Lola, I don't know what you're doing. Come on, you want to come over here real quick? Come here. Come here. Come here. You can bear it, or you can't really see her head. There you go.
There she is.
What's up, Lola? She loves being a little mascot in this. But let's go ahead and talk some Cavs, man, because they are on a 5-game heater, and they are currently one of the better teams playing in the month of January in the NBA. They had a dominant win against LeBron and Jokic, or not Jokic, Doncic, and the Lakers. And they've been cruising. They had a pretty bad loss last week to OKC, but besides that, they have beaten the bad teams, and they beat LA by 30 points last night. And LA is the 5th best team in the West, so it's not like they're slouching or anything. They came out and handled business, and they handled it really in that second half. Man, that third quarter and beyond, they really put it on them. I think they outscored them by over 20 points in the third quarter alone, and it was just a bloodbath from there. It was just a lot of steals, a lot of fast breaks, and the Cavs were just relentless, man. They were relentless, and they made LeBron look his age. And it was really nice to see, despite all of the injuries. Obviously we have, Evan is back out again for another 1 to 3 weeks with probably the same calf injury. And we're waiting on Garland to come back. We're still waiting on Strus to come back, which hopefully should be soon for Strus. It sounds like Garland will be back maybe this weekend, but if not, next week. But overall, despite injuries, guys are playing through stuff. Jalen Tyson is almost playing at the point where he's just a legit all-star. Like, he's playing some really good ball, man. He's like almost the heart and soul, like not even the best player, just the heart and soul of this Cavs team and how they operate. And it's fun to see because he's in year 2, and this is the kind of stuff that you wanted a guy like Okoro to be. And he's just taking advantage of the minutes and all of the opportunity. And now it's like you can't help but keep him in the starting lineup even when Strus comes back. What are you feeling right now just about the Cavs and just being able to see them kind of get out of the slump that they've been in and playing as well as they have recently?
Yeah, no, I mean, the Cavs have been playing pretty well as of late. I mean, we're on a 5-game winning streak. The way the Cavs are playing now looks like the Cavs from last year, where they're moving the ball very well. They're not taking dumb shots. They're getting to the basket, and we saw that a lot last night when the Cavs couldn't make a shot from 3 or couldn't hit a normal jump shot from inside the key or whatever. They took everything to the basket, and I know early in the game, the Lakers were hard pressing. They were, making sure they weren't getting any shots off, and they had a lot of steals, and they took the lead after you had an 8-0 lead. They came back and scored, I think it was like 17 unanswered or 17 straight. And it's like, okay, here we go again. This is the Cavs we've seen this year where they just kind of start blowing stuff and just chucking things up in the air. No, what they did was they put their heads down. They got to the basket. They were drawing fouls. Then on the opposite side, they're playing hardcore defense, getting steals and getting quick buckets. And they're getting physical on the glass. The Cavs, I think, doubled their offensive rebounds last night. Or like they had double the offensive rebounds the Lakers had. They were getting those second chance buckets. They were getting defensive rebounds. They weren't getting outclassed. And they weren't getting out rebounded either. So this has looked like a really good Cavs team. As you said, Jalen Tyson has been the biggest surprise this season. He's just playing, like you say, he's playing like an all-star. And shout out to him for being involved in the Rising Stars game. Absolutely deserves it. I know he's on team like Tracy McGrady or something. So if you watch in a couple weeks, watch Jalen Tyson, support him because that dude is an absolute baller this year. He's averaging the same amount of points as DeAndre Hunter right now, which is 14 points even. So to match a guy like DeAndre Hunter, I mean, it just shows like Jalen Tyson's playing some really good ball. He's aggressive. He's getting rebounds. He's hitting shots. I mean, when we weren't making threes the other day, he went, I think, like 3 for 3 or something and started the 3 train for the Cavs. And he's just unbelievable, man. This is a kid who plays with his heart. He reminds you of, again, like a Donovan Mitchell, but slightly younger. Just a guy who just likes to play basketball, plays with his heart.
Yes.
I think he's learning a lot from Donovan. And this guy is going to be a key piece
100%.
Going forward. He's going to be and I tell you what, too, if Tyrese Proctor keeps playing like he is off the bench, just hitting shots and whatnot, that kid's going to be another. Like, I tell you what, the one thing the Cavs front office is good at is drafting because they draft some I mean, Proctor in this late second round is he's looking like a mid first rounder right now. Yeah. He's unreal.
I mean, even their G League, guys like Tomlin. I mean,
Naquan's a dog.
Like, he's so fun. He brings gritty energy. He doesn't always play the best. Like, sometimes he does some dumb stuff, but like, he played a great game last night. He had quite a few steals, quite a few dunks, just brought a lot of energy off the bench. And like, the bench guys, that's what you need. You need the energy. You need that umph.
Mm-hmm. Brings that physicality that we were missing.
Yeah. And, it's just a key part. It's really good that the young guys are playing as well as they do. Like, even Chris Porter Jr. Still playing really good minutes as the backup point guard. Even Lonzo has played a little bit better. I know he is a part of some trade rumors along with Hunter and even Dean Wade. We'll see how that ends up sort of shaping up. I mean, it doesn't really sound like the core four is going to get touched, and I'm fine with that, I guess. I think the only guy that I would is Allen, just because I would rather have Mobley be the full-time center because before he got hurt, Mobley was playing some of his most physical ball that I've seen him play in a while, at least since last year. He's been really starting to attack the rim again. He's getting more comfortable getting back in the post. He's not trying to shoot as many jump shots, especially with this shot being so flat this year. He's getting away from it and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to eat down low. I'm going to shoot within 5 feet of the rim. I'm not going to go any more than that. And it helps him. And it's going to help the Cavs because it's very important to get the big guys going. And if you're going to keep Jared Allen, you might as well get him going on offense and get it going early. Like, if it's working, get going early and get going often because it's going to free up a lot of the shooters. It's going to free up guys like Sam Merrill. It's going to even free up Donovan. I mean, right now, Donovan's getting double teams everywhere he goes because he's been the guy. Like, he's been the offense. He's playing some really, really, really good ball. He didn't really have a super great game last night. Still had 29 points, but the game before that, he had 46. I mean, the dude's just been playing out of his mind. He's playing at an MVP level because he just wants to win. He doesn't care how it's done. He doesn't care if he's got to be the guy that scores 40 or if somebody else scores 40. It doesn't matter. But then you got Jalen Tyson, who at this point can put up 20 points almost consistently every night as long as you give him the shots.
Yeah.
And he makes every play. Like, he's very good at recognizing when to either take a shot or pass it off to somebody else. He's done it so many times already throughout the season. He has matured so much. It just makes you feel good. It makes you feel good that, okay, the Cavs hit on a guy like that, or like later on in the first round as what was he, the 20th pick or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to redraft that draft, he's probably a top 5 pick at this point with how he's playing, because he's averaging, I think he's averaging like 18 points a game in the last like month or so.
Yeah.
He's been playing really, really, really good ball, and it's been almost all season long. He's been, again, one of the more consistent guys. And once you get guys like Sam Merrill back, they'll be very easy to just throw in, for minutes. He's good on defense. He can obviously shoot the hell out of the ball when he's healthy.
He played last night.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really shoot the ball that well last night, but he didn't have to. I mean, we were up by 30 points because everybody else was scoring.
I was gonna say he also didn't play much either because of just coming back from injury. You're not gonna play You're not gonna play much.
Yeah, well, plus his, I think, was a hand or wrist injury he's come back from. So
it was his wrist or something.
Yeah, I think it was his wrist. Yeah, I mean, the only guy that I'm really kind of like annoyed with in terms of like how he's played since he's come back has been Larry Nance. I mean, he's at this point, I would rather give Thomas Bryant his minutes than be playing Nance. I mean, at this point, you almost don't even want Nance to be part of the team, and it sucks because he's a Cav guy for life. I mean, he loves being the Cav. His dad, obviously,
good hype
jersey
man.
Is retired. Great hype man, but he's not really able to be a part of the team consistently because he's not really contributing on defense, and his offense is just not there. I mean, he hasn't been able to shoot the ball or anything, and when he does, it's bad. So I don't know. I think the biggest name you're going to see go is Hunter. The Cavs are playing better without him. I mean, I know he played last night, but he didn't really contribute that much. I mean, I think he had like 12 points.
He had 20 points.
He had 20? Okay, well, hey. Shout out to you, big dog. It was a very quiet 20, and it was probably because,
let's see. He went.
Other guys contributed better.
Yeah, he went 7 of 15, 3 from 8 from 3, made 2 free throws.
His bread and butter has been his mid range.
Yeah. But dude, Naquan Tomlin is a beast, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're telling me he had 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block when he came in. And 3 of his 4 rebounds were offensive rebounds. And I remember too, because he went up, grabbed one, dunked it, grabbed another one, Pat kicked it out for an assist, and then this dude's unreal. Like, I wish, and I think too, like you said, his physicality and his his heart, I think, is spreading throughout the team because they're just getting down and dirty. The Cavs are playing fast when he's on the court. And shout out to Jared Allen too, because again, like you said, for some reason when Mobley's injured, Allen plays so well, and then the vice versa, when Allen's out, Mobley plays so well.
Yeah,
and it makes me think that one of them, like, if you're gonna have them both, I think one should be on the bench to start, and you play the other, because for some reason they just play better without each other. And I think it's because they're not fighting for rebounds together. They're not having to fight for who's going inside the paint. So honestly, I'd rather have one of the, because again, Jared Allen, 24 minutes, 17 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. I mean, like, he just looked better.
Yeah.
Without fighting Mobley. Same with, again, like you said, same with Mobley, because I went to the Sacramento Kings game where Mobley dropped a quiet 30. Or Mobley dropped 30 points and had like 12 rebounds or something. Had like a massive double-double. So for some reason, they just play well without both of them on the floor. So I think Kenny should have a look at that and be like, damn, which was better? And honestly, I will say I think Mobley's better in that regard because Mobley can just put up more points and he's a little bit more physical than Jared Allen is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just kind of is what it is. But sounds like the Cavs are just going to try to move on from from some role players. But to be honest, I'm not even going to be surprised if they don't make any moves at all.
Mm-hmm.
With the cap being, what it is, being in the second apron, it just makes it harder to make certain trades. It's going to take a lot to really get out of that. And the only way you do that is getting rid of at least one or two of the core four. And again, if that's not going to happen, then there's really no getting out of that. It just is what it is. So the Cavs are just kind of committing to that. But, they could still use a change from guys like Ball, guys like Wade and Hunter. Those guys, they're due. And it is what it is, especially Wade, dude. I'm tired. You and I have been tired of Wade for like 2 years.
Yeah.
like it's getting to a point where we're like, okay, like it's his time, right? And he's just not. He just keeps staying. He's like a roach. He just won't go away. But he just plays just good enough to stay in the rotation, in rotation, but not well enough to be a major contributor to it anymore.
Yeah.
Because his shot is so inconsistent, man. He either hits every three or whiffs it. It's so horrible how inconsistent he is. But hey, at least he plays decent defense, right?
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah. Otherwise, like the only other ideal that I would have, and I know I kind of said this before we recorded, with the whole Giannis thing, like if you're not going to be in on him, get in on the deal and be like a third or fourth team in that deal, because that's how you got guys like Allen in the first place, by being involved in the Harden and KD saga with the Nets. And see what you can find. Like that's how you can move some bodies around and move some cap around and maybe help yourself out. And who knows, you might be able to get a solid pick out of it, or at least a solid guy out of it. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, be smart and be ready, but at least they're playing well. They have a better mindset, which is the best thing. Like their energy is there. They're playing a lot better on defense, which is turning into more offense. Again, when the team plays like this, you're like, okay, this team can compete in the East. They have to play better against teams like the Rockets, who is a team that I am deathly afraid of when it comes to the Cavs, because they just don't match up well with them. Like they get bullied by them every time. OKC bullied us last week. Right now, like that's not a team that I'm comfortable and confident in playing in the playoffs. So you just got to hope that both of them get, out of the playoffs somehow. And you got to play the Spurs, which are even still a tough team, but at least they're a little bit easier. Or you have the team like the Wolves or something like that to go up against instead of Houston or OKC. But I guess the final thing that we'll go over real fast, because we can't forget about the true GOAT, our GOAT, Jose Ramirez gets a 7-year extension. I'm so happy that he did that. And it's crazy because he didn't really sign up for as much money as he deserves, to be honest with you. Like he honestly deserves $1 billion at this point. I mean, shit, he's given us so many hometown discounts. It's insane. But he's got like, what is it, like 70 million deferred or 40 million deferred on this deal. But it's like a 7-year, like 100, what is it, 140 or 170? I forget.
140, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, 7 more years. So he's basically going to retire a Guardian.
Yeah. It's a lifetime contract, basically.
Yeah, I mean it is, because I think he's just now about 30 years old. I know he's like 29 to 30.
I think he just turned 32 a couple months ago or something.
Yeah. So the point is, he's still in his prime, but he's at that point where that's going to be the tail end of his career. But Now the Guardians need to figure out what they're going to do with Quan, and they got to figure out what's next. Are they going to try to add any other guys in terms of outside P pieces, or are they just going to roll the dice with more of these young guys and give them more chances and see who else pops off? Um, it sounds like they obviously want to see a lot of the young guys play, especially Bazana. I mean, Bazana has to play this year, 100%. CDL has to come in healthy and be able to contribute early. You still want to see Manzardo play, and you just want to see a lot of these young pitchers do their thing, and that's the important thing I think that this Guardians team is trying to look for. So I'm excited still. Just waiting to see if they're going to do any other moves. Which, listen, we know the Guardians, we know this front office, we know that they're not really going to do much. This is kind of who they are and who they have been for a while. But we're getting close, man. We're getting close to the Blitzer era, and part of this, deal with Jose was Blitzer was kind of involved in this, and this is he even admitted that this is the most hands-on that he's been at this point. That's a good sign. Like, people don't understand how good of a sign that is with all of the crap that we know and have heard about this team. Like, Blitzer taking over once Dolan is done,
and it'll be next year too.
It's gonna be a blessing. It's gonna be
after this season, it's the Blitzer show because he takes over in 2027. So after this season's done, this is the final year of the Dolans, ladies and gentlemen. The final year of the Dolans, and then it's the Blitzer show from here on out.
Could you imagine if the Guardians just somehow won
the World Series
this year, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Dolan's gonna go out a champion." Like, man, F you. Like,
it would happen too.
I know.
It would happen with Jimmy Haslam too for some reason. Like, the Browns just somehow won the Super Bowl, and it's like, of course, of course,
right.
Like,
that would tick me off.
But yeah, no, the contract. So I found it. It was 7 years, $175 million. It didn't say how much was deferred, but I do remember it was something like $40-some million deferred. Because I want to make sure we are kind of right on that. Let's see. Yeah, I can't see how much was deferred. He's getting an average of $25 million per year. I'm trying to think of how much that would be in deferment. That includes deferred money. Yeah, it doesn't. We saw the numbers. It was around $40 or something million deferment. So we're not going to get too deep into it. But the thing is that Jose Ramirez is signed through 2032. It's a record $175 million deal. And I loved what Jose said too, saying that he calls himself a 50-50, 50% Dominican, 50% Clevelander. Like, that just made me more hyped for the season beginning. Like, but like you said, I don't think the Guardians are going to do much this offseason for the rest of the offseason. I know training starts, I think, report next week, actually. And I know the rest of the staff goes in, I think, the 18th, something like the 18th or something. So spring training is right around the corner. It's in a couple weeks. But I will say this, and I know we all heard Chris Antonetti speak, and he spoke and said they looked at getting people to come in, but they would rather try and go and use guys like Chase DeLauder, CJ Kfish, George Valera, obviously Travis Bazana whenever he's ready. So they're like, yeah, we would go out and be aggressive, but the thing is like, you have so many good young talent ready to be called up to the major leagues. Like, you want to give them an opportunity to showcase themselves and prove their major league quality. And to be honest, Zach, I don't think this was a move that Antonetti wanted to do. I think Antonetti is going to be a guy under Blitzer who's going to be a little bit more aggressive. I think it's more so the Dolans are telling him, like, listen, we're not going to spend like always, and you're going to go and tell everyone that we tried to spend, and that we're just going to run with the younger guys. Which, it's okay to me because I do want to see C all the time. I do want to see Kafis and Valera play every single day. You know, Kafis and Valera especially because towards the end of the season and the postseason, they were a big help. Like they really were a big boost because you sat down Jonathan Rodriguez, you sent down Will Wilson, you sent some of these guys down. You brought Valera and Kafis up, and they were crushing the baseball, playing good defense. And I was like, finally, some actual players. These were the guys you're supposed to call up a while ago, not Jonathan Rodriguez and Will Wilson. So, and now you get to see a full season of Chase DeLauder. And that's the one thing I'm excited about. Because if this guy crushes like he does in the minor leagues, oh, it's so over for the league because this dude's gonna mash and having him and Jose together and Manzardo too. Like your top hitters is Quan, then it's like Jose, and then it's I don't even know who the hell you put the two hitter because it's so hard to decide. But then you're like your 3, 4, 5 would be like Jose, Manzardo, DeLauder, or whatever. You might put DeLauder at 2.
Yeah.
Many ways you can go about this, but the Guardians are always going to be one of the youngest teams in baseball. And the thing is, that's not a bad thing because we were rated the second best farm system to go into this year, which means that the Guardians are just absolutely loaded. And even if the Guardians did want to make a big splash, they have the farm talent to release into the world to get bigger, better ball players who are ready now.
Yeah.
But I think they're waiting for more of the Blitzer era to begin before they start making moves. Because at this point, it's like, you've just locked up Jose for 7 more years, so you don't have to worry about your star player. The next goal is to lock down Steven Kwan. And if you can lock down Steven Kwan, then you can start building. And again, if you have young guys like DeLauder and Valera and Kafis and Bazana and those guys out, building around those guys is going to be a lot easier. Like, especially too, like if Bazana can replace Roki at second base and Roki can go back to shortstop ahead of Gabriel Arias. Oh, dude, that infield's going to be nasty with Ramirez and Rocchio and Bizana and Manzardo, with your outfield being Valera / Kafis, DeLauder, and Quan. Oof. And then you have a solid pitching staff and Bo Naylor behind the plate. Dude, that team wrecks.
Yeah.
Like, Nick's getting me more excited for baseball season coming up. Like, I'm excited to see this young talent. I'm excited to see how everyone does. And I tell you what, if the gamble pays off with these young guys, this team's going to be good for years to come.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in a very good place still. Like, there's a lot of young talent. And that's what we've been saying over the years. It's like, hey, they have a ton of young talent, and like they have the ability to build a really good team for a really long time.
Yeah.
They just got to do it right. But that's the one thing that you can honestly say about the Guardians is they've always had an incredible farm system.
Yeah.
They've always brought up some really good players. They've always done well with that. I mean, where do you think guys like Jose came from anyway? Francisco Lindor. I mean,
Jason Kipnis.
The Klubers. Even going back to like CC Sabathia, Cliff Lee, all of those guys came out of the farm.
Manny Ramirez.
Out of the farm system. Manny Ramirez. Like, dude, the list can go on. Like, you can go back and find a lot of guys. Grady Sizemore. Yeah. You can just continue to go and go and go. Everybody starts somewhere, and they do a really good job of it. And that's the thing nowadays is they've been able to at least keep some of the better ones that they've built up over the years. And they get to bring up more. I mean, Bazana is the next big thing. I mean, that's what I think a lot of people are really, excited about. But there's quite a few names, I guess, that are really high on, the list of guys that the Guardians could see move up even more. So only time will tell how everybody sort of mends, how long it takes. But between some of the good that we saw from last year with some of the young guys and you wanting to see them make that next step, you really got to see where that's at. And you're putting a lot of eggs in that basket. So there is a risk there, but it's a cheaper gamble. and it puts you in a position to make some really, really good moves in the future, especially when Blitzer is a part of this team for good. He is the guy calling the shots and signing the checks. And I really do agree. I think he is going to want to be a little more aggressive, especially when it comes out of the jump. Says, "Hey, this is my team now," and we know what this franchise can look like, how the fan base can look like when they play well. Let's give them something to cheer for, and that's going to make fans show up, and that's where you're going to make your stadium money. That's where you're going to start to get your TV deals and all that. So, good things can come and will come, I think, from Blitzer being involved even more. So, it was just good to see them lock that down. It really wasn't anything that was really talked about before it happened. It just kind of happened, and it happened as soon as I came back too. I think I came back on Saturday, and I think it that news popped up on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So, I guess it was pretty good timing for me to come back when I did on Saturday.
No,
But
for real. You picked a great time to get back.
so yeah, man. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for me, at least. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Let's go ahead and shout out the sponsors of the stream, of course, to the boys.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Please, please, please check out our sponsor, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice and plays to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. The links will be in the description below. We are in the heart of the ML or the NBA season. We are getting to be in the heart of the NHL season as well. Guys, MLB season, I'm telling you, spring training right around the corner. I mean, just looking at the report dates for spring training, the first teams arrive February 10th. February 10th. Baseball is right around the corner. You know what February 10th is, Zach? It's a week away.
Pitchers and catchers time.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks away. 2 weeks and Tuesday, it's going to be spring training time. Pitchers and catchers. The first preseason game will be February 20th. So spring training is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. So it's time to talk to Tony or Greg. Get yourself some betting advice and plays, because once baseball ramps up, that's Greg's specialty. If you want some baseball plays, talk to Greg, because Greg's going to have some MLB all season long. He is locked in on that stuff. So again, guys, talk to Tony and Greg. We're in the heart of some winter sports. We got MLB starting in 2 weeks. Well, we got pitchers and catchers reporting, and it's time to get locked in for some baseball relatively soon. So go and check them out.
Heck yeah. Yeah, man. They are obviously the boys. They know what they're talking about. They give out some really good advice. It is definitely worth the money if you are looking to try to step up your betting game. So don't be shy. Check them out. See what you can get out of it. You never know. You might be able to hit on something pretty crazy. Never know. Just gotta try. So, all right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for us. We will see y'all next week with some more Cavs talk as we get closer and closer to trade deadline time. I believe it might be next week, if I'm not mistaken.
February 5th or something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
So
we're getting close. I know that.
Yep.
We're getting close to that. Again, I said we are 60 days away from NFL free agency as well. We got the All-Star break coming here soon, and obviously, as we said as well, pitchers and catchers, which means spring training is just around the corner. So, listen, man, we're going to keep having more and more stuff to talk about every week here from this point on. I know we got through some of the more lackadaisical talk, the more quieter times, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We promise. There's more stuff to come. We will always have something to talk about. So we'll see y'all next week with some more sports talk.